So we have like a new trend going on as far as like with overnight robberies here in Chicago. Uh, People were doing like the smash and grabs or crash and grabs or whatever you want to call them, but it's like now they've switched it up a little bit and they're just kind of like randomly like just robbing people, again, like just kind of pulling up on people like whenever, you know, but it's kind of solely on like the north and northwest side of Chicago. So my whole thing is kind of what I've been saying, like actually trying to, have some type of resources available, you know, like for people at these times, because it's like usually, like, yeah, y'all do all this stuff, but, stuff happens when y'all not doing the stuff. So it's like when you kind of look at like the overnight hours, like you kind of would look at the dominating factors to be like, okay, they have, events and stuff going on here. Not to say that y'all should like harass people, but there's data on all this stuff. So when it comes to the just historic disinvestment in these areas, it's like you got major business corridors with like vacant storefronts. You got abandoned buildings, and then, it's so much of a, you know, it's so much of a hassle and like so many like loops and hurdles that you gotta like jump through to actually try to like activate one of these, like vacant places. Like, oh, this spot has been abandoned for like, 15 years, and then it's like, most people uh, who are trying to like create change aren't necessarily probably in the best position, like as far as like on paper, if you wanna say that, So it's like, yeah, it's like you gotta like be super successful if you wanna like help or like, contribute, and not to just say that, like, yeah, you could go volunteer, but I'm saying like if you're trying to like start an organization and you don't have necessarily the support from, the community, like the alderman, like the mayor, like the city, you may run into problems, because like I said, it's a lot of red tape that you have to get through. And, like, okay, this property has been abandoned for like, 15 years, but, I see, people who, aren't even from the community come, move into like locations and do like the same stuff that's been like going on, like, since I was a kid, and the stores closed down, open back up, close down, and it's the same thing. And it's like, you know, I just kind of feel this, it's discouraging, but you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that I'm not resilient, but that's kind of the reality, like you want to like bring and provide some type of change, help the people in these communities appreciate the communities that they live in, like if they start seeing people who look like them own this place and they're actually going there and benefiting from it, you feel me? It would be something that's more, that they could relate to. And, you know, not to say that, oh, that's going to just stop, you know, all of the crime and, overnight robberies, but, you have to start somewhere, like you have to invest in the people in these communities, you know what I'm saying? Because it's called urban planning, you know, like the reality of it is if, just say, you put a store here and the store, thrives, that means the community is probably thriving. But if you put the same store in this location and, it keeps closing down or it's abandoned, just say out of a 10-year period, just say it's abandoned for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not helping. It's depreciating the value in the community as well as it's an eyesore on the community. And nobody wants that. Like when I look at downtown, like I see all the many buildings that, that they're not doing nothing with. But, the reality is like you just kind of, you know, like chipping away at the problem. Like, the problem could easily be resolved, but it's not no investment, in specific areas, and if you like go to this area and be like, oh, I'm trying to, do this here, they're gonna, come with this long list of things that you like need to do, and the problem is still here, and it's not like, I see like a billion people, like trying to do it. So that's why we have to do it collectively, as a community and as, people who want to bring change. So, yeah, we just missing you. So that's all. We just trying to get these puzzle pieces together so we could, have a bigger picture, like real talk. So I don't know, like if you're trying to be down, like definitely hit us up, come contribute, come get on the show, come talk about the problems that are plaguing your community and how we could detox it together. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way.